All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Future of Fashion panel for CovetCon 2021. I am so excited to be here among such esteemed company. This is our Future of Fashion panel. And right now I have Nikki Yasemi, Judy Gao, and Shen Burkett. And we are waiting for Sai Senko. She has been having some travel delays, but so she may pop up. She may not pop up, but we'll go on without her. So what I'm going to do is have each of these fantastic panelists introduce themselves. But before I do that, I'm going to say just a fun fact about each of them that I have learned. Okay, so starting with Shen Burkett. Shen, we'd love for you to introduce yourself, but one quick fun fact about Shen is that she established the Shen Burkett Foundation in 2019, which is focused on mentoring young men and women to realize their full potential with a focus on fashion and entrepreneurship. Shen, I'd love to hear just a little bit about who you are and how you came to be with Covet Fashion.
Hi, I'm Shen. I am a mother of 3. I'm also the designer and owner of Shen Burkett New York. I love designing clothes. I love using bright colors and fun patterns and just really helping women exude just confidence, through wardrobe. I started with Covet, I want to say maybe was it about 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. And our in-house stylist actually recommended just me joining the app for fun. And so I did that. I connected with Jordan and I've been in the game ever since, and I play Covet every day.
Thank you so much, and we're so excited to have you with us. Next, I'm going to kick it over to Judy Gao. Judy is the creative director of Judy Gao, and a fun fact about Judy is that she debuted at the New Zealand Fashion Week and competed on Project Runway New Zealand. And she is also a nationally ranked chess player. So that is a little fun fact as well. Judy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me here. And my name's Judy and I am an evening wear / bridal designer. So I love creating a whole range of different aesthetics. I can't pick my aesthetic, but I love to do anything from simple satin to the fairy tale bridal stuff, because I just love making women feel very beautiful in something special.
Wonderful, Judy. Thank you so much. And it looks like Sai has joined us. Wonderful, Sai. I'm so glad to have you. I'm going to have you introduce yourself in just a second, but first we're going to go to Nikki Yasemi, who is the creative director for Narcisse. And she's been with Covet Fashion for a very long time. But here's a fun fact. Her mother worked with esteemed British tailor to the royal family, Victor Edelstein, who's renowned for having created some of Princess Diana's most iconic gowns. That's pretty cool. You've got it in your blood. Nikki, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's so great to be amongst all of you incredible talent. So just a little bit about me. Yeah, we've been together since 2015, so it's been a while. It's been great. I'm the creative director and founder of Narcisse. We do evening wear and bridal, similar to Judy. Yeah, I'm obsessed with texture. I'm wearing one of our pieces. I love texture. I love incredible textiles that make you think about gowns and costumes and structure differently. So you'll see that in our collection. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you. Thank you. And Sai Senko, we're so happy that you made it. I am very lucky to be wearing one of Sai Senko's dresses today. You can't tell, but it goes all the way down to the floor and I feel very glamorous. Sai is from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and she's deeply inspired by the glamour of old Hollywood. So Sai, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be with Covet Fashion?
Hi guys, so lovely to be here and thank you guys for everything. So my name is Sai Senko and I'm originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and I was in the healthcare field as a nurse, but of course, you know, as somebody that always just had fashion, like I just had a love for fashion, I was, you know, a gamer for Covet. So, and then I think about a year and a half now, like we connected and I have been on the platform, and it is a whole family of Covet users out there and I adore them. And so thank you guys for having me on the panel today.
Well, it is an honor to be amongst all of you incredibly talented, powerful women who are at the forefront of fashion. So really today we're going to talk about the future of fashion, but wanted to get a little bit more about each one of you. So I'm going to throw you a couple of questions and I'll call on you so that since we're in Zoom, it's less organic than we'd like, but that's how we're going to do it. So here we go. So you each reflect the rules of fashion and break them a little bit in your own way, from mixing colors and patterns that maybe someone wouldn't think to pair, or by adding modern twists to classic methods of design. How do you stay true to your own vision and of where you want your brand to go? And let's start with Judy.
Okay, for me, I think doing something different comes naturally to me because I didn't go to fashion school, and I think that really helps me think outside of the box, because I'm totally a rule follower. So I know that if I studied this, I would follow, the sewing rules to a T, which is why I kind of slowly developed my own techniques of making things. And from there, I think my garments are a little bit different just because they don't follow the traditional techniques of garment making. And I just try and develop those techniques every day.
I love that. Thank you. Let's have Shen. Let's have you answer the same question.
I think I'm just like Judy there. I studied accounting and was on track to be an attorney, and I ended up here. And I think everything goes, and my just growing up in the Caribbean has influenced my design style, my love for pattern, love for color, really bright colors. And I just like to try different things also. I'm a student at this still, so learning every day, learning every season, and just growing and implementing what I've learned going forward.
Wonderful. Sai, what about you?
I think I just love being unique and different, and so whenever I design, that always just comes into play. I don't want to like for instance, if there's a current trend, I probably won't really wear something from there. I'll wait to like the previous season. So I like just bringing my own touch and feel to things, so I don't want to follow the rules. And when it comes to design, I feel like that plays a lot into how I create things, you know what I mean? And I tend to go for really bold colors and really wild prints, and that's been my go-to throughout my my career in fashion right now, so I don't know. It's kind of.
I think that's fantastic. Nikki, what about you?
Yeah, so mine, I guess I have from two different angles, different things that pull me from into different directions. Early on in my career, obviously, well, education-wise, I was going for medical school so that I can support my fashion line. So when I did my interviews for medical school, they were like, maybe you should volunteer at a doctor's office and see whether they can actually run a fashion line on the side. So after that, I decided I'll get my MBA. It's a bit more open-ended, so I can apply it to whatever I want to. And following that, I was a retail buyer. So I worked for multi-billion-dollar companies where I was a buyer to begin with, and I was a head buyer. Then I ran a whole team of buying and analysts. So there, as a buyer, you're there to analyze your data, serve your customer. You have to be a little bit ahead of the trend curve, but not too much, because then, if you have it early on too early, then you'll miss the boat. So having started this brand, my buying hat would always tell me, I need to do that. But over time, you realize that whatever you do that's unique actually does better when it's your brand. So that for me was kind of the way that taught me to actually be my own, do my own thing. And also, like Judy, my fashion education is not from school. Since I have an MBA, it's my mother, my whole life. And she's very much about discovering new techniques and new things. Anything goes, just find your way. So just going back to that, now everything's upside down and I get to do my own thing and I don't think about pleasing everyone.
I love that. You have the freedom to kind of break out and do what feels right
Yes.
for you. And I love that we've got doctors on the panel, we've got lawyers on the panel, and everybody came to fashion. That's wonderful. Okay, so this panel is really about the future of fashion. So I'd love to hear from all of you. When you think of the future of fashion, how do you hope or see the industry evolving? And this can be in terms of design, how we shop, how business is done, representation, supporting each other, digital tools, like Narcés virtual customization tool. I'd love to just hear from each of you, maybe starting with Sai, how you think, what you think of when you think the future of fashion.
I think for me, like, it's just really innovative. Last year during the pandemic, I think a lot of people had to change their whole methods when it came to selling, communicating with their customer base and everything, just because they couldn't actually, see them in person. So a lot of things is going more virtual and more online. And so one of the things I admired last year was like there was all this really creative ways. Like there was a designer that did this groundbreaking digital fashion show, And so I was so inspired by that I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So for my current collection, I flew like thousands and thousands of miles away, to just do something really just unique and different, not just like a runway, like, in Paris, because I mean, at the museum, everybody does it, you know what I mean? So I wanted something really unique and mind blowing, and I feel like that's what fashion should be. I feel like it should be just like really just exciting, and I'll tell you, like, one of the reasons why I make my own clothes, because sometimes I get bored, you know what I mean? So I want to be excited. That's not horrible, but I want to be excited. So, but I think for the most part, everything is moving, towards the online virtual system, and it's great. And like, I'm currently doing a pop-up, and it's good to meet my customers, and I think everybody comes out here and they support. But for the most part, it's more convenient for the customer, and of course us the sellers as well.
I think that's fantastic. I wish I could make my own clothes if I got bored, but I don't have to because I have access to yours. It's wonderful. Nikki, what about you?
Well, I believe that fashion, you read so many blogs and you read so many, I listen to so many podcasts, and I believe fashion is going to be smarter. It's going to be kinder, and I hope happier. And by smarter, I mean, using data, using digital technologies, the body scanning tools, and having slimmer collections, being smart about your inventory, and innovating, like Sai mentioned. That's going to be great for fashion, so that we don't have all this overstock everywhere. I hope it's going to be kinder, sustainable, responsible, inclusive. I don't like the intimidating part of fashion. I cannot stand that. When fashion is intimidating, it should not be that. And I hope for it to be a way for people to be happier, less rules, less fast trends, more about comfort, a lot about customer experience, and a lot about individuality and celebrating your creativity versus here's your box, stay in your box,
Yeah.
Oh, Nikki, I love that. That's so, because it is intimidating for somebody who is new to fashion, and you feel so beautiful when you put on a piece like this, and you do your hair, and it just helps, you feel confident, and having that barrier of like that intimidation removed would be great. So I love that you're leading the charge with that.
Oh.
Shen, what about you? What do you think of the future of fashion?
I think Nikki covered everything. Well, I totally agree with her, and I believe fashion is heading towards a more sustainable place. I think a lot of designers are innately concerned about the types of fabrics that we're using, our printing techniques, and just overall waste. I also believe fashion is heading to this beautiful, diverse place where we're seeing more than ever on the cover of magazines, on runways, just different body types, different types of people. Just everyone is seemingly like represented now compared to maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So I feel like it's, and that's, I think, is just going to help, just especially our younger generation, like our children, just hopefully grow up in an environment where they're seeing themselves reflected in beauty publications and on runways, and hopefully just leads to, like Nikki said, a happier place.
I love that. And that's the dream. And just looking at the representation on this panel makes me feel really
Right.
proud, and it's incredibly moving. Judy, what are your thoughts on the future of fashion?
I completely agree with Nikki as well. I think she said it beautifully, and it's exactly what I had in my notes as well, to be more inclusive, ethical, and kinder. And I think we are heading in a good direction, although there's still a lot of more work to go, which I completely understand, especially with the fast fashion. It's still a huge thing. And I think us as smaller designers, we could all work harder to kind of, move the consumer away from that slowly. And yeah, I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I agree. So looking at this panel of strong, powerful female leaders, I wonder if you could give a piece of advice to women who are struggling to take that first step and breaking the mold or finding that internal courage to think with the future in mind. What would it be? What would your advice be? And let's start with you, Nikki.
Okay, so I always think about this because we have a lot of, we've had a lot of interns, and everyone has the same thing, same question, they're waiting, all waiting. And my answer is always like, don't wait, just start. I always think about that whole Nike slogan, just do it. There's no, I already said that I don't believe in rules. I also don't believe in paths. Everyone's path is different. And I think that's where the magic lies. Don't try to make your path like someone else's path. Take your own path, your own upbringing, your own influences, because that's when you can create something different. And it's just a matter of starting, because you'll find a way, you'll find your own way. And that's the way to go.
I love that. Judy, what about you? What are your thoughts? What would you tell up and coming?
How you just have to start and be really confident in yourself, because you have no idea what potential you hold. Like I just remember my experience on Project Runway, because everyone else went to fashion school. I was so nervous and not confident at all in what I was doing. But after that, I realized I was not lesser than them. I just have to believe in myself and keep pushing. So I hope that everyone can find the confidence in themselves to do what they want to do.
I love that. You don't have to take the path that's already been taken. You can forge your own, and you can trailblaze for others. I think that's really beautiful. Shen, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everyone else. I believe that you should just start. Also, go confidently, be consistent, and just make the most of your time. Being kind to yourself in the process. Go scared if you have to, but just go forward, because I feel like you never know. And also, don't be afraid, like I have been for many years, to tell your story, because sometimes you just never know who that might influence and who that might propel into into exploring their passion, or just to help them on their journey. So I feel like each one teaches one, even sometimes indirectly. So it's just important to start and be kind to yourself along the way, and be consistent.
I love that. Be kind to yourself along the way. We're in this culture of overwork and glorifying exhaustion, and glorifying kindness to yourself and others. I think that's where we need to go. Sai, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree with the other ladies. I definitely feel like you should just, make the move, but also be prepared that it is a lot of hard work, because if you're working for yourself, that's the reality of it. Like, when I started my business, I thought like, oh, okay, I'm doing this so I could have more flexibility, so I don't have to work for somebody else. And it is the opposite. So you have to understand that, not only do you have to be consistent, it's gonna be tough, and nothing good comes easy. And so it'll be worth it in the end, for sure.
I love it. Hard work, kindness. I love all of these answers. So I'm gonna take some questions from our CovetCon attendees. We have a lot of great questions from CovetCon 2021 attendees. So I'd love to hear, how has your involvement with Covet Fashion changed or influenced the way you style or design, or has it? And let's start with you, Shen.
Oh dear. So as you know, I play Covet every day. Covet is just, it's fun, and it's like an escape from the real world in a way, but still it's still kind of the real world, if you will, because you're still utilizing garments that you can actually purchase. So it's just a really fun way for me to kind of test out something before buying it, or layer different things and just have fun with different designers and different fabrics and patterns. And it's just kind of, I think it's really just helped me to even be more bold in my styling, and pairing things together and realizing that everything really does go together, and just to do it fearlessly. It's just, it's a part of my day every day.
I love it. Fearlessly. I have this new mantra, which is replace fear with love. And every time I hear that, I just try to think about that. Judy, what about you?
I think from playing Covet Fashion as well, what I've learned from it is that more is more, and you can literally create something really extra, wear the boldest thing to the grocery store. So that's what I love about it. So I think how that influenced me is just to design bigger and more extravagant things.
Oh, I love to hear that. Sai, what about you?
I have to agree with Judy. Like, definitely more is more when it comes on there, and I see the way like they layer even my clothes, because I already feel like my clothes are already a lot, and I see like they layer them and it just comes out so cool and so beautiful. So, it's definitely like inspired me to like, take more risks, say, okay, like sometimes I'm like, you're doing a little too much, and then like I see the cover users and then the styling, I'm like, okay, well, just continue down the path that so it works out that way for me.
I love it. And Nikki, what about you?
I agree with you, ladies. Extra, it shows on the app. I love being extra in general, and the app is just amazing to see those extra pieces. And one thing that I've also loved is whenever we have, let's say, a full look that could be in two parts. So it looks like a gown, but then you have a top and a bottom separate, then people can do more with it. So they can pair it up with different things. So it's definitely led me in the whole direction of which we were already going in, but kind of justify the direction that, have your outfit do more for you. So I love when someone's wearing something that people think it's a gown, but it's really not a gown. You can wear the top with jeans, or you can wear it with leggings or whatever you want. And then you could pair it with the bottom, the matching bottom, and it looks like one piece. So
I love that. Okay, another question from our audience. What is the top of mind for your future goal for your brand for you? And combining that also with what fashion trends do you see being the most popular for fall and winter of this year? So your brand and generally for the rest of this year. And Sai, let's start with you.
Oh, wow. I guess the goal of my brand is, for sure, I think I want to get out there a little bit more and meet more customers. I think this whole pop-up experience has been really amazing. So I when I started, I never really wanted like my own store at all. Like I was just like, no, I don't want to do that, So, but I for sure want to, like get to meet the customers more and, interact with them. As far as the trends, and I'm going to be honest with you, because, they have the trend cast that you go through. I don't look at it. I just do whatever I want to do, to be honest with you, and if that makes me happy and if that makes my customers, and so far it's been working for me. So I don't follow those at all. Like if there's a style I made like 10 years ago and I'm like, hey, I think I want to wear this again. I want to create this again and make some changes to it. That's what I'm going to do when it comes to like my line.
I love it. And Judy, what about you?
For me, my goal for this year is also to find a studio space that is bigger and allows, for me to just feel more motivated and for my assistant to feel like be able to work together really well. And I think for the fashion trends, I completely agree with Sai. Like, I don't know what the trends are going to be. And I think especially for evening wear, there's like no specific trends. You kind of just go with what you feel like and what the customers love wearing.
I love that. Nikki, what about you?
In terms of trend, I do read the trends just because of my past. You kind of have to I don't know, I feel like I still have to know what's going on. And, you know, the discussion mostly is about people want to be more neutral, more earth tones. And that just doesn't work with my trend. In my mind, I'm always about why do you want to blend into the background, you know? So our brand is not about that. Our brand is, you know, I want the person to make an entrance so that the presence is known rather than you just blend into like nothingness. But you know, there's brands out there, I respect that go after neutrals. And so yeah, so that would be, I believe, with what Sai said, do your own thing. And I think that's important. And in terms of our own business, we're spending more time on the wedding side, on the bridal side. And we've always done custom, and I believe in customization, especially when it comes to bridal. No designer can know a bride's dream. So I love to get into the head of the brides and just want to make their dreams come true and give them the confidence that their dreams are valid, you know?
Yes, I love that. It's, you know, we talked about fashion giving women confidence, and I really feel that. That's why neutrals, I'm like, neutrals, we've just been locked inside for a year and a half. I want to wear all the colors. Shen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that was my answer. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, on my brand side, I'm looking just to connect with my customers more directly, just finding different ways to do that, just to have a connection with people who just support us. And in terms of fashion trends, I think it's just going to be, for us at least, it's just the inward coming out. And so it would be whatever makes you feel good, you know, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Definitely whatever makes you feel confident, I think would be the focus in terms of trends as well.
I love it. Confidence is the most fashionable thing. I love it.
Yes.
Wow. I have been so inspired by this panel and I have learned so much, but unfortunately we are running up to the end of our time. So I would love to know, just for a quick lightning round, side parts, are they in or out? Nikki, Yasemi.
Oh my God. Can I say it's in? Because I have it right now.
What about you, Judy?
And definitely.
Side, okay, good. Sai.
In.
Good. Shen.
Yes, definitely a staple, always in.
I love it. Like I said earlier, I didn't know if they were in or out. So I was wearing a side part forever. And then for this panel, I was like, let's see what it looks like to do a middle part because I want to be fashion. But now I feel better that I can just be me and have the confidence to be me. So thank you all so very much for participating in Covet, for participating in CovetCon, and for being such amazing partners for us. We could not do it without you. And it's incredible. And it's an incredible honor for me to be in your company. So thank you to our participants, and for you all for CovetCon 2021, we want to see how you're styling the special CovetCon style challenges. So please make sure to share your look from our final pop-up style challenges. Prom night with Badgley Mishka. I wish I had Badgley Mishka back in the 90s. It's live at 4:30 p.m. in the Facebook chat to enter our random drawing. So next on the open invite agenda today, we have a 2 p.m. makeup refresh with Cosmo Deputy Beauty Editor and our very own Chelsea on Covet Fashion Instagram Live. And just again, I wanted to thank you so much to our panelists. This has been truly an honor to share space and time with you. And I look forward to the next time that we can be together. In the meantime, happy coveting. Thank you.